If you're a lifelong fair attendee, you may remember some of these landmarks at the fairgrounds. Dean Borg takes us away in another fair flashback.
The Iowa State Fair is always changing, but there are some things that have disappeared over the years. And although the fair is a lot of tradition and I want to see this again, things change at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. Sean, you've got an exhibit here of things that we recall, but they're no longer on the grounds. And this is an older picture here. What do you see here in this photo that is of significance?
Well, the big draw here is the exposition building, which was built for the original fair when it moved here in 1886. And it lasted up through 1950, and then it was just some rotting and damage, then they tore that one down. But it's still called Expo Hill because that building was there.
And a roller coaster.
Yeah.
We don't have one of those now. We have a sky
glider, yeah. The roller coaster, yeah, it was built in the early turn of the century, 1908. And that was popular, as you know, in the Rodgers and Hammerstein movie. There's she's riding on the roller coaster.
Yes.
And it eventually rotted and got to a point where it had to be taken down when we didn't have control of the fair during the war years. But a lot of the wood was salvaged and went into homes on the east side.
So the wood is still around. It's
yeah.
Homes on the east side of the wood.
They're living fair history and they don't even know it.
and Teen Town. I remember Teen Town, and I really hadn't missed it.
Yeah, it was 1964, so it was catered towards the baby boomer generation. And it was really everything that would cater to them. They had a battle of the bands for rock and roll. They had booths that showed, senior pictures and the hot new cars, and they would do fashion shows around a pool they had in the front, and it was really interesting.
Located right in front of the grandstand, wasn't it, on the midway there?
Yeah, it was just back set. It's kind of the area behind the Riley stage now.
On the Grand Avenue area there.
Yeah, just off of there.
What was the idea, do you think, of having something specifically for teens?
Well, that generation was so big that they said, we should be, cashing in on this, so let's make them their own area so they have an area to go and meet with their friends and cater to them.
What would you speculate? What's changed? Why isn't Teen Town around?
Well, I think it's spread out. Now you have stuff for teens and all over the fair.
I see.
And instead of just in one area.
Good idea. Women and Children's Building. We have women and children's emphasis at the fair, but not just a building now.
Yeah, and back then that was a really great building. It's unfortunate that we weren't able to save that. But the baby health contest was held in there, and lots of other things. There would be cooking demonstrations and a lot of different contests that catered to women and children.
But now, just like Teen Town, it's spread throughout the fair, emphasis on all genders.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And the emphasis here on totem pole and Indian teepees, was that just a theme for a year or what?
Yeah, that went along with the theme fairs we had for those years. It's the Indian Village, and then it transformed, and they added the block fort and different things. And at one point it was a Vietnam village during the Vietnam War to try to show what the people were dealing with there.
Well, so one thing we ought to say to our viewers, come to the fair today because you don't know how it's going to change, and it'll probably be gone tomorrow.
That's right.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Legacy is a term that I hear often, and working with public television, it's an easy thing to explain to people. My father started working with public television in 1971, the first highlight program.
Hello and welcome to the second evening of highlights of the great Iowa State Fair.
That legacy then continued on to what I would call Mr. Iowa, Mark Pearson.
Good evening and welcome to Fair 97. We're glad you can be with us.
I am thrilled and honored to be carrying on humbly that legacy. It's a real thrill and again an honor to do that.
Continue the legacy. Call 800-779-7000 or visit iptv.org today to do your part to help keep this tradition alive for years to come.